Hey guys, Monster here, and I just got back from seeing This Is the End, and after This Is 40, fucking hell, this was so much nice breath of fresh air. Okay, so first of all, let me just say, before I get into a review, guys, if you have been following me for a while, you probably know that this is my most anticipated film of this year, no doubt. Well, it was anyway, I've seen it now. It's between this and The World's End, but this was slightly edging over The World's End, because every trailer and every clip that came out for this was fucking hilarious. So it had, my expectations were right through the fucking sky for this film, right? So going into this film, my hype level was, as I said, through the fucking sky. But at the same time, I had in the back of my mind expectations that it will not reach what I'm hoping for. I fully expected it not to reach what I was hoping for, because my hopes were way too high. Let me just put it that way, okay? I just wanted to say that before I get into the review. First of all, the storyline. Now, the storyline for this was surprisingly competent. Obviously, it's The World's End, and the reason for why this is happening is meant to be a big secret, but they kind of say it in the trailer, and I saw someone was spoil it in an advanced review that said fucking spoiler free in the title, so I already knew that going into it. I won't spoil it for you guys, I won't spoil the reason for it, but I already knew it going in, so it wasn't as big a mystery for me, and I knew a lot of the things that was going to happen in the film. However, I still enjoyed the storyline and the way in which it went, and there's some people that died I didn't expect to die, and there was nowhere near as many cameos as I expected. Like, most of the cameos at the party, there's one cameo outside the party which I already knew about, but it's meant to be a surprise cameo. And oh no, there's one cameo right at the end which I didn't care for, because I have no interest in who the cameo is, but if you do, then good for you, you may love it. But yeah, so storyline wise, it's surprisingly good. I'm going to have to give the storyline, I'll give it a 9. It's one of the most original comedy storylines I've seen. And the characters, well, it's hard to rate the characters because they're basically playing exaggerated versions of themselves, so I basically just have to rate their acting, really. And, well, actually I have to say, character-wise, the most exaggerated one is definitely Michael Cera. And the most surprisingly dark character was Danny McBride. I knew he was meant to be a dick in this, like a likeable dick in this, but he turned into a complete prick. He was fucking hilarious, but what he does halfway through the film, Jesus Christ. James Franco was good. He's basically somewhat in love with Seth Rogen, not like brotherly love, let me put it that way. Like brotherly friend is getting weird. And Jay Baruchel was definitely the most normal of the group. He's the most relatable. He's a socially awkward guy that feels really weird about all these big celebrities, even though he's technically one. As I said, Michael Cera's fucking great as the coke addict. And who else was there? Craig Robinson, he's always good. He's always a good laugh. Paul Rudd was in it for a few seconds. That was pretty hilarious. That's not really a spoiler. Everyone knew that before it came out. Yeah, so character-wise, it's weird. It's hard to rate because they're basically playing exaggerated versions of themselves, but they play exaggerated versions of themselves really well. But then again, why shouldn't they? So this is hard to rate. Characters, I'll give it an 8. You know, just to be fair. And acting, I have to give an 8 too, because I don't know if they're trying really hard or not. Mark Cera probably was, and at point Jonah Hill was. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Jonah Hill. He plays an obnoxiously nice guy. Like, you know when someone's so nice, it becomes fucking annoying. He plays that kind of character, and I've seen him in interviews, and he is exactly like that. He's like, he acts so nice, but you know he's thinking in the back of his mind that he's you know, he thinks, you know in the back of his mind he hates certain people, even though he's so fucking nice to everyone, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I just wanted to get that across. And he had to stretch his acting ability about halfway through, which I already knew what was going to happen, but I wish I hadn't. And the humour, here's the thing, the film turned surprisingly dark. It actually turned almost into a horror comedy. It was not quite horror comedy. It's still a black comedy, but it was almost horror comedy levels of darkness, if you know what I mean. And there's a couple of surprisingly gory moments, which was pretty funny. And so the humor, I'll probably give a 8.5. It was no, actually, that's being cool. I'll give it a 9.5. Yeah, because I mean the way they had to handle it, along with the horror elements they're trying to include in this film, they've done extremely well. So I have to give them praise for that. So yeah, I'll give humor 9.5. The special effects, which is something I don't really usually cover, I just want to mention. I'm not going to weight these because I don't think that there's a point in weighting them. But special effects in this film were pretty bad. If you are into your special effects and shit, like, they won't render too well and shit, but who gives a fuck when you're watching this fucking film, trust me. Because I know there have been a couple of people bitching about the fucking special effects in this. It's a fucking comedy by the people that made Pineapple Express. What made you think this was going to be a fucking special effects fest? So, yeah, just know going into it, there are a few special effects that don't look so great. There are a few that look great, but there are a few that don't look so great. So, just know that going into it if that really bothers you. And overall, I would say this film is probably a 9.5. I would stretch it to the as a fanboy of Judd Apatow and his crew, I want to stretch this to a 10. I know this isn't done by Judd Apatow, by the way, guys, but that's what I mean by and his crew, because it's basically everyone that's been in a Judd Apatow film before. Just want to clear that up. So yeah, as much as I love them, and as much of a fanboy as I am of them, I do feel I still need to be fair, so I'm going to give it a 9.5 rather than a 10, which is what I desperately want to give it. And I have to say that I don't know if it's as good as Tropic Thunder, because Tropic Thunder is a film you can watch over and over and over. I don't know if this is going to have the same effect of Tropic Thunder. The reason I compared those two is because they are similar premises. But yeah, it's highly recommended. It's definitely the funniest film I've seen this year, and yeah, just got to see what The World's End is like, and I should be seeing The Internship pretty soon, so long as I have the money for it. So I'm getting off topic here, and this has been an extremely long review, so I'm going to stop now. So it's Master 50 signing out. Highly recommended.